Hey yo, what's up guys? It's your boy back again with a new video. It is Wednesday and all the team lists are out, so your boy's going to run through all the weekend of footy, my key matchups to each game, and then run through my fantasy team and who we got in. But anyway, I hope you guys have been doing well, and yeah, let's get straight into the video. Peace. So the first game of the weekend, we got the Knights versus Seagulls, and my key matchup in this game is the centre matchup. So we got Dane Gagai and Bradman Best versus, we got the new debutant, Tui Pulatu and Morgan Harper. So the reason why I had these two as my key matchups here is Dane Gagai has pretty much been in career best form at the moment for the Knights, and Bradman Best is another freak of nature out in that centre. And the Seagulls centre pairings at the moment, Morgan Harper hasn't had the best start to the year, and they still haven't brought Brad Parker back into the squad. So that new debutant, it's going to be a real long night for him, but from what I hear, he's a stud. So this is the reason why this is my key matchup. People to watch on the weekend is definitely watch out for this new centre. Apparently he is a stud. Other people, obviously, there is no Tommy Turbo. So Kula is playing fullback. So if you got him in your fantasy squads and your reserves and that, maybe you can put him up into your interchange. So we'll have to see how you go. In this matchup, I got the Knights winning. I just don't see the Seagulls winning without Tommy too well. Next matchup, we got the Wars versus the Cowboys, and my key matchup in this is Walshy and Drinkwater. So Drinkwater's first game at fullback this year, or the last couple of years, with the big hammer is out with injury. And then Walshy coming off a good game last week. You know, I keep seeing more combinations getting built between Walshy and Sean Johnson. So I got the Wars in this one. Obviously Warriors fan, so I'm going to be biased, but I think it's going to be a tough matchup for us, and I can't wait to watch this game. Next game, we got the mighty Broncos versus the Roosters. My key matchups in this one is Payne Haas versus Hargreaves. I really believe that if the Broncos forwards can shut down the momentum through the middle of the Roosters will struggle, because over the last coming weeks, the way the Roosters have been successful is through the middle, but the way they've been, their downfall is actually getting beaten through the middle. So they're a very momentum side at the moment. They're still figuring out combinations. And then they shift to edges like Joey Manu and stuff like that. So this is my little controversial one. Obviously, my second team is the Broncos, so I'm going the Broncos in this one. I really think that the Broncos need to bounce back, and they seem to do really well against the Roosters teams of the last couple of years. So we all remember that TPJ game against the Roosters last year, where the Broncos came out on top. And I really think Billy Walters is going to have that added spark coming in at number 6 spot, because I really rate him. So I'm going the Broncos, but, you know, guys, definitely like the smarter pick here would be the Roosters. I think the Roosters have been performing well. I just think maybe the Broncos can come out and build momentum and put the Roosters on the back foot. Next game, we got the Raiders versus Storm, and my key matchup in this one is Papi versus Chance. So the two fullbacks both performing pretty decently. Chance didn't have the best game last week, but Papi had an amazing game last week. So two key players I really want to watch in this matchup, and I'm really excited to see how they perform. In this matchup, I got the Storm winning. I think the Storm are just going to be a little bit too classy, but the Raiders still need to bounce back somewhere. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they really take it to the Storm here. Next game, we got the Rabbits versus Dragons. We got Cookie versus McCulloch for me as my key matchup. So the Dragons been struggling as of late the last couple of games, and I think they need to bounce back there. And I think McCulloch would be the start of it to bring those forwards through the middle to get them to a place that they can consistently get to the 20 meter on the other side and score a couple of tries. Cookie for me is the key matchup in this one as well, because I think Cookie's starting to really play a lot better for that 9 this year. Like, he started off pretty slow, and now he's starting to really find his straps. And with those forwards like Murray and Totola and Kalola Matangi, like, you know, he's going to find areas where he's going to bring him into the game. So I got the Rabbits in this one. I think the Rabbits will do them, but I wouldn't see another world that, you know, I think the Dragons are going to come out and really have to test themselves here, because to drop a couple of games in a row the way they have, I think they're going to look for points. So good game. Next game, we got the Titans versus the Eels, and this one I got the Titans halves. Well, both halves of the competition. So we got Sexton and AJ Brimson. And then the Eels halves of Mitchell Moses and Dylan Brown. Basically both coming off, well, you know, Toby Sexton didn't have the best game last week, but AJ Brimson getting that game-winning try. And then Mitchell Moses probably having one of his best games of the season. Same with Dylan Brown at the moment, but Dylan Brown's always been performing really well for me anyway. So I got the Eels in this one. Second last game of the weekend, we got the Sharks versus the Tigers. My key matchups in this one is our second rollers, and I think that so Britton Nakora and Teague Wilton versus Tuolangi and Leilua. So the Tigers team hasn't been going amazing as of late, but I feel like their second rows are still very damaging, and if the boys can connect with them pretty early on, they can have a really good game. But the Sharkies' second rows of Britton Nakora and Teague Wilton have been really, really good the last couple of weeks of the year, so start the year basically. Teague getting that game-winning try a couple weeks back, and then Britton Nakora, who has been really on fire lately of his, he's a great line runner. We saw that off SJ, and he's just building off top of that against with Hines. So I see the Sharks winning this one. I do hope the Tigers come out and really give it to them and show everyone, like, screw the media, screw all that. Like, teams underperform, like, this happens. Not every team can perform at the top level, and I just hope they just make the fans proud, basically. And last game of the weekend, we got the Doggies versus the Panthers. And for this one, I got the halves matchup of Flanagan and Burton versus the two big dogs, Cleary and Luai. I'm really excited for Flanagan to get back in the halves, and I hope they stick with him, because for me, that was the half that I wanted the Bulldogs to have throughout this year. I think Flanagan's proven enough over the last couple of years. He wasn't the best half in the comp, but he's a better half than what most of them have at the moment. And Avarillo should definitely still be like either a strike centre, maybe later on a fullback or a 5'8", who knows. But I think as a halfback, Flanagan is their best half to go with. They got Wakeman on the bench if everything goes wrong, but I think they should stick with Flanagan. Unfortunately, I don't know why they went that way. While saying all that, I think the Panthers will do them. I think the Panthers will play pretty well here. But again, the Doggies are really good at getting into a grinding match, so this could get into a grind. And I'm really excited to see this game, actually. Alright, so now going into my team for the week and my fantasy squad, boys, the Boogie squad, let's go. So my wing fullback pairing is, they're all pretty much the same. Teddy, Xavier Coates, and Nico Hines. Centre pairing with Tago and Crichton this week. Cleary and Snyder as my halves. Pretty much very similar team of last week, boys. Nanai and Martin, I'm going to see how Martin goes for another week. I really believe he just underperformed last week because of coming back. So I really think that he's going to take a next step in this one. My middle pairings, we got King, Payne Haas, and Curtin Mann. The only reason why I got King there and I've shipped Adam Fanor-Blake to my interchange, maybe into reserves, is only because Adam has been named in a reserve squad for the Warriors. So I think he's got to go for a fitness test. I'm a bit worried about it. I'm hoping he is all goods. I hope, if anything, like if he's too bad, like we just don't play him for a week. Give him a week off, because he's been performing really well the first 4 weeks in this competition. Not in fantasy wise, but for the team standard, he has performed pretty well. So, but we're ready for it. So if he goes out, I got Cooler, Penne, or Walters, all been named in starting. Well, not starting, but all been named pretty much close to starting squads. So I can slip either one of those boys in. So comment down below who you reckon for me to switch in if Adam Fanor-Blake doesn't play this week. So I got those three boys there. And then my hooker, we got Chris Randall. As I keep saying, I'm going to hold him in until maybe Brayley comes back, and then I'll look at a studs hooker. So basically, we'll just see how we go from there. My interchanges, we got Kobe Hetherington, Tuolangi, Penasini, and as I said, AFB is sitting there, but it could easily be Cooler. I'm really thinking Cooler, but then again, I have been talking up Billy Walters, and I think Billy Walters has been pretty good. Aaron Penne, I'm going to keep him in emergency for a couple of weeks until he starts scoring well. I still honestly believe he's going to have to get a starting spot or somewhat of a bigger minutes throughout the year, because I believe he is a freak. I really rate him. So, but yeah, and poor old Wishart, he can't get a start at the moment, and he was my one to start the year that I thought he was going to get a lot more time in that, but because of injuries and the way everything's jumped around, he hasn't really been getting in there. And that COVID game, unfortunately, he didn't get the start that one. So hopefully within the origin period, he gets a start somewhere, or, they get reshufflings. But if you've purchased people like Josh King, you should be in for a good year anyway, because by the looks of it, the way their game plan has been running, they've been running with Josh King starting at lock, which is crazy, because I honestly thought they'd run with Brendan Smith at lock and Harry Grant as they're starting, but, that's the way they picked it. So if you picked up Josh King, I'll probably stay with him for as much as I can this year until I see that little change from Bellamy to see what happens. But yeah, any thoughts on the fantasy team, guys? Comment down below. I really hope, AFB's all goods for this week. If he's not, rest him for a week. I'm all good with that. We got Max King that can step up there. And a whole lot of other boys that I'm hoping build on their performances from last week. Hope you guys have been enjoying the content. I really appreciate all you guys smacking that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell if you want to know when all my videos are getting uploaded and that. At the moment, I'm doing 2 a week ones, and we'll see how we go. We'll keep growing, and that, as I keep saying, I want to get more personal in that. Footy is just something easy for me to talk about because I love it, so we have to get into it. But thank you for listening, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Up the wires, baby. Let's go.